Ready? Play.
Saver Tjen, I don't think is in a great spot at the moment. I remember seeing a YouTube short from Eddie from Tennis Asia TV where he said, "Are we sleeping on Janice Tjen?" I think she'd won a couple of matches that particular week, but I remember seeing she's about to play Anisimova, and I thought she's going to get easily beaten by Anisimova, and that's exactly what happened. So I just thought it was the wrong time for Eddie to release that video, or bad luck in a way, because actually since then I'm not even sure she's won a match, and she's also had some not great losses. The one to Camila Osorio in Merida was quite uncomfortable because she was up a double break in the first set, but she didn't like the wind, and it wasn't helping her slice at all, and it wasn't helping her big forehand either. And Osorio was just smiles all the way, and she wins a load of games in a row in the first set. Tjen's up a break in the second, and it doesn't work out well. I think I saw Tjen's first match in Indian Wells. Yeah, Christian. Third set tiebreak. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago almost now. And I just felt that mentally, I thought Tjen was going to maybe just not quite make it from having won the first set and having chances in sets 2 and 3. But yeah, I'm not in a good spot right now, Janice, I don't think.
I think that's a fair analysis, John. I think, it's still a game that's a work in progress. I think given kind of like the slice, just like how...
I think there's a lot of work to be done. Listen, she's a great fun player to watch, and maybe that slice in the future will become a weapon. But right now, it's not a weapon exactly. It's more, hopefully this slice will give me a nice forehand.
Right. It's just kind of like unsettling to your opponent to see it so often, especially on the women's tour. Not hit it. The players just don't hit it as much on the men's tour. I also say, like, still an adjustment period, John. Like you said, you're analyzing the form at the moment and kind of the situation, but kind of going back maybe in that 16-month range where some crazy record, right, from the ITF level all the way to the main tour, her record was like 120 and 18 or something, So I think there's still like an adjustment period of adapting to just a higher level of tennis on a more consistent basis and going up against, bigger weapons. Yeah.
And there's that Christian result I was just referring to. So it's a couple of losses in a row, obviously Osorio and Christian. And yeah, I think people maybe thought she was going to win both of those matches, but didn't turn out that way. Coming back to Miami and her first round draw here, she's going to come up against Putintseva. And I think that's a tough one for Janice.
Yeah, that's a lot of variety getting thrown at you. Definitely different heights, different spins. But I guess in her, if we're looking at it positive, Miami, just a little quicker, lower bounce surface, might get a little bit more use out of the slice.
I don't think they've played each other before. I'm going to have a look on the WTA website. But Putintseva as well, her form seems to... I remember her getting a few wins, including a great one over Zainab Somez in Australia. Yeah. And she was someone last year who I think her form was scratchy. So I think she's turned a corner of sorts. Yeah, they haven't played before, Tjen and Putintseva. But yeah, Putintseva's form, just having a quick look at that, I feel as though she has, as I say, turned a mini corner, having had a rough spells last year. Yeah, she lost to Clara Towson in Indian Wells. There's no shame in that, and having beaten... That's a tough draw, by the way, her getting Badosa in the round of 1-28 and then playing Towson in the next round. And the Towson loss, I remember this one. Yeah, the first set tiebreak, 11-9, and then she just about faded away in that second set. And the wind was really difficult. I think she struggled more than... I think both players struggled with it, but she struggled with just that little bit more than Clara did in that second set. And but it is a match that could easily have gone 3 and could easily have gone Putintseva's way. And I'm feeling better about her form now, and especially that Australian Open run I think was important for her. Getting to the fourth round there, albeit an 0-1 loss to Jovic there, but the wins over Sonmez and Jacquemont and Haddad Mai before that, I think, have put her year on a decent footing. And also she had some good wins as well in Adelaide before that, where she had to come through qualifying, beat Galfi as well before losing to Nevada, which hasn't aged well as a loss, I don't think. But yeah, got wins in Brisbane too. So she's got, I think pretty sure she's got a positive win-loss record for the year. And I think she beats Tjen because of all the reasons I've just laid out.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair analysis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. Janice Tjen and Yulia Putintseva are about to get underway with Janice Tjen serving first. João Fonseca and Fabian Marozsan have just returned to the court with Fonseca already up a break. 2-1 he leads with a break. And it's 15-love to João as well. I think he liked these conditions in Miami. But we'll see. Marozsan will be disappointed with that last point as well. 30-love. Fonseca here keen to consolidate the break. Now on the forehand of Marozsan. It's a good forehand from him. Fonseca defends it just, but Marozsan should put that volley away and wins the point, 30-15. Let me know in the live chat your thoughts on this encounter, either Marozsan against Fonseca or Janice Tjen against Putintseva. Tjen serving first and is up 30-15. It's a double fault there, which means Putintseva wins that point, which is why we're at 30-15. Don't underestimate the Tjen serve. I think it's one of her strengths. The forehand is also a strength of hers, but don't overestimate the slice, because sometimes that can waver. And by the way, the windy conditions might favor Yulia Putintseva today. We'll see. Fonseca 40-15, so 2 game points for the Brazilian. Double fault again for Tjen, 30 all. Deary me. Fonseca on the attack, puts that backhand volley away. 3-1 he leads. Tjen under a bit of pressure already on her serve at 30 all. Forehand here from Tjen into the backhand of Putintseva, but she deals with that. Look at those forehands, but she's dealing with the forehands. The slice there from both players. Nice angle there from Tjen, but I tell you what, Putintseva fighting. Now it's on the forehand of Tjen. Now on the backhand of Putintseva, a slice there from Tjen. But I tell you what, Putintseva's in a bit of bother here, though, because of her court position. She needs to get out of that pretty quickly and doesn't. 40-30. Game point for the Indonesian. 40-30, she leads. Just 3 minutes on the clock there. Marozsan and Fonseca. Meanwhile, Marozsan serving at 1-3, love 15. Can Janice Tjen get this hold? Backhand slice from her. Putintseva comes into the net. Now it's a lob. But Tjen on top of this point, and she puts the forehand away, and she wins the first game. Janice Tjen holds for 1 love. Do you get voting in our poll, by the way? Who do you think is going to win? Also get in the live chat and let us know your thoughts. Marozsan serving 1-3, 30-15. And it's now 40-15 for Fabian. Tjen and Putintseva changing ends. Marozsan 40-30 now on his serve. So Putintseva there. Look at that wind. I don't think that's going to do Tjen any favors in terms of her slice, although it wasn't affected too badly in that first game. Remember, Putintseva in the very windy conditions in Indian Wells lost her match to Clara Towson, so I don't think she's necessarily a big fan of the wind either. And Marozsan here at deuce, by the way, on his serve, as Fonseca threatens to get a double break advantage in this first set. First serve there from Putintseva misses, so a second serve here for Janice Tjen to look at. Marozsan with a game point to get us to 3-2. Look at these ball tosses going awry, by the way. Forehand return there from Tjen into the forehand of Putintseva. Backhand slice there from Putintseva goes into the net. Love 15. And Marozsan and Fonseca back to deuce. And it's love 30 now here on the Putintseva serve. So some pressure that Janice Tjen is applying thanks to that return. And also the forehand doing some work. And a really deep slice that ultimately Putintseva couldn't deal with to get to love 30. Another game point for Fabian Marozsan at 1-2 and his advantage as he seeks to get a second game on the board, but he is down a break to João Fonseca. So, good return there from João. João, is he going to run this down? He is going to go long. So, Fabian Marozsan gets the hole for 3-2. Meanwhile, love 30 here between Putintseva and Tjen. And it's a nice slice from Janice and the slice back from Putintseva. Forehand from Tjen is doing the damage, I think. Yes, it is. Love 40 for Janice Tjen to get to 2 love. 3 break points for the Indonesian. How she would love to get an early break on the board. Putintseva clips the net, goes wide. So a second serve here for Janice Tjen to look at to get the early break. Forehand return from her is pretty good. You don't want to really be going into the forehand where possible because the forehand is a definite weapon of hers. Backhand now from Putintseva, sticking on this combination. But Putintseva dealing with it so far, but Tjen changes direction and goes long, 15-40. Fonseca and Marozsan are a change of ends as the Hungarian seeks a change of fortune in the opening set. Do hit that like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. A few clouds over. Is there going to be a cloud for Fabian Marozsan today? Or a cloud for João Fonseca? Forehand winner from Janice Tjen. 2 love, she leads. She does indeed get the early break. She's up 2 love. João Fonseca is up 3-2 with a break. Janice Tjen, 4 games away from winning the first set. João Fonseca, 3 games away from winning the first set. Okay, forehand return here for Putintseva is going to go long, so 15 love. Fonseca serving at 3-2. Where are you going to go with this serve? You're going into the backhand of Marozsan, which is well returned. Forehand now, Marozsan cross-court into the forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca misses the forehand, so love 15. Okay, backhand return from Tjen into the forehand of Tjen there. Oh, and she's missed, so it's 30 love already for Janice Tjen. Fonseca here getting to 15 all. Tjen here 30-15 on her serve. Pretty good start for the Indonesian so far with that early break. Fonseca backhand cross court. Oh, I think Marozsan's just missed that. So it's 30-15 now for João Fonseca. Forehand here from Fonseca is going to be too good. 40-15. Saw the Fonseca forehand in practice looking very, very, very good. Tjen has been pegged back to 30 all. And Zhao holds for 4-2. Unreturned serve. Clenched fist from him. Looking pretty good so far for the Brazilian. Looking pretty good for Janice Tjen here. 2 love, 30 all. Could serve out wide, but Putintseva deals with it. But now can she deal with that in behind shot? No, she can't. 40-30 Janice Tjen. Nice little drop shot there from Marozsan to get to 15 love. He loves the drop shot, ladies and gentlemen. Tjen here at 40-30. Where are you going to go with this serve? Backhand return from Putintseva. Backhand into the net from Janice Tjen. So deuce. Marozsan misses the first serve at 15 love. 2-4. Backhand return from Fonseca. Forehand now cross court. Forehand now from Fonseca into the backhand of Marozsan. But Marozsan on the attack there. But has he missed that forehand? Yes, he has. 15 all. Deuce for Putintseva Tjen. And Tjen serving at deuce. And it's going to be a second serve after she puts the first serve into the net. So second serve for Yulia Putintseva to look at here. It's a double fault from Tjen. Break point Putintseva. To get the break back. Good serve there from Marozsan, 30-15. Do let me know in the live chat where you are watching these matches from. Good attacking play here from Tjen, and Putintseva can't deal with that forehand. Deuce. Marozsan with 2 game points at 40-15. To get it to 4-3 before the change of ends. Tjen trying to get to 3 love change of ends. She has saved a break point, and it is deuce to the rally here between Marozsan and Fonseca on the backhands. Now it's good defending there from Zhao. A smash. I think we're back to neutral. Wow. Really good defending from Fonseca. Now on the forehand of Zhao. It's something you want to probably avoid where possible. Now it's on the slice of the backhand slice from Fonseca, and it goes into the net 4-3. Meanwhile, Tjen is going to have a game point for 3 love. João Fonseca and Fabian Marozsan change of ends. But Fonseca is up with a break. Tjen is also up with a break on Putintseva, but because she served first, she will have a 3-game advantage at the change of ends. Should she win this point, and I think she will, as Putintseva mishits the forehand return, so it is indeed 3-love. Reminder that Alex Ayala is through after a 3-hour, 20-minute, 3-set epic win that she had over Laura Siegemund earlier today on the same court that Fonseca and Marajan are playing on, the main stadium court. Changes of ends on both of these matches right now. João Fonseca and Marajan just returning to the court, with Fonseca serving at 4-3. Tjen and Putintseva are also returning to the court, with Putintseva serving at love 3. Fonseca serving with new balls, of course, after 7 games. Putintseva serves, backhand return from Tjen, but it should be a forehand put away, and it is from Putintseva, 15-love. Fonseca also up 15-love on Marajan as he edges towards winning this first set. Of course, we have Magdalena against Iga Swiatek happening later on today. Oh, wonderful backhand up the line there from Marajan to get us to 15-all. Forehand here from Putintseva into the backhand slice of Tjen, which has got good depth on it today thus far. A backhand from Putintseva goes into the net for 15-all, which is exactly the same scoreline as we have from Marajan against Fonseca here. Fonseca serving. $30-15 for Putintseva, $30-15 also for João Fonseca. In fact, Fonseca's raced into a 40-15 lead. 2 game points for João to get to 5-3. Oh, and Tjen has won the next point to get us to 30-all. $40-30 for Fonseca, so he still has a game point. Are we going to get another break point here for Janice, Tjen? She's on the slicing and the dicing, and now she's set up the forehand quite nicely. Putintseva on the defense, but it's good depth there from Yulia. Now it's a backhand down the line from Tjen, and it's going to force an error, or maybe even unforced error there from Putintseva. Oof, 30-40, break point. João Fonseca holds for 5-3. So Marajan serving at 3-5 to stay in the set. But will he succeed in serving to stay in the set? Well, we'll soon find out. 3-5. And Fonseca, yeah, so holds. Yeah, 5-3. Break point for Tjen here. And it's saved by Putintseva. So we are at deuce. Good return there from Tjen. Putintseva struggling to defend it, and she goes long with that forehand. It was on the defense. It's going to be another break point for Janice Tjen, much to the frustration of Yulia Putintseva. And she's going to miss that Tjen, so we're back to deuce. Marajan here, 30 love up on his serve at 3-5. Has Fonseca missed that? Yes, he has. 40 love. Now, what's going on with Tjen and Putintseva? Finally, a game point for Putintseva here. Advantage to her. She waits for Janice Tjen to get in position to return. She seems to be a bit perturbed about Janice taking her time. 40-15, Marajan Fonseca. And Tjen goes long, 3-1. Do get in the live chat, by the way. Let me know your thoughts. 2 game points here for Marajan, and he takes it. So, 5-4. When they return to the court, Fonseca will be serving for the first set. Serving is exactly what Janice Tjen is doing here at 3-1. Putintseva cutting a very frustrated figure right now. $30 love for Tjen, 3-1, 30 love. Fonseca and Marajan are at a change of ends. Good serve down the tee there from Janice Tjen, and it's 40 love. And look at that from Yulia Putintseva, throwing her racket on the ground to such an effect that the dampener has come off the racket, or part of the racket has come off. I think it might even be the base of the handle. 40 love, Janice Tjen. 3 game points for the Indonesian. She's put the first serve into the net here, Janice. Backhand return from Putintseva. Now she's going to be on the forehand. Decent depth there, but still the rally goes on. I think she's just waiting for the error right now from Janice Tjen, but they're not coming. Tjen defending really well, but now there's a backhand winner for Putintseva. João Fonseca and Fabian Marajan are back on court, with João serving to win the first set. João Fonseca serving for the first set. And it's 15 love for the Brazilian. Meanwhile, Janice Tjen has held serve for 4-1. Hats off to the Indonesian there. Fonseca is serving. They're going to change ends now, by the way. Tjen and Putintseva, so they'll sit down for a well-earned rest. Putintseva needs a reset in this match because she's very frustrated right now. Fonseca 15 all here on his serve. Do let me know in the live chat who you think will win this match. Second serve here. $30-15 for Fonseca. 2 points away now. Oh, 30 all. Oh, breakpoint Marozsan. Oof. 30-40 here. Deuce. Oof. So Fonseca 2 points away. Meanwhile, Tjen and Putintseva. Putintseva serving 1-4, 30-15. Can Zhao get over the line in this first set? Are we going to get another break point, or is it going to be a set point now for João Fonseca? Deuce. Is Putintseva going to hold serve to get to 2-4? Fonseca serves down the tee, and it is going to be a set point for João Fonseca, the Brazilian, to take a significant step towards victory here in Miami. Five, 4, his advantage. Where's he going to serve? Backhand return from Marozsan is pretty good. Nice backhand up the line there from Zhao. And it's not going to be dealt with. João Fonseca wins the first set by 6 games to 4. Putintseva has a game point against Janice Tjen to get to 4-2. But João Fonseca's won the first set against Fabian Marozsan. 6 games to 4. Can Janice Tjen win the first set over Yulia Putintseva, or is Putintseva going to make a comeback? We'll find out. Regarding that first set, João Fonseca's serve quality, 9. He had to fend off a break point, didn't he, when he was trying to serve it out? But other than that, looked pretty impressive on serve. Putintseva, by the way, is 1-4, 40-30. She has a game point, and she does get to 4-2, does Putintseva. So now it's over to Janice Tjen to serve. Just having a quick look. There was only 3 rallies in that first set between Fonseca and Marozsan that went over 9 shots, and they were all won by Fabian Marozsan. But the under 9 shots certainly going the way of João Fonseca as he wins that first set by 6 games to 4. Really good serving set for the Brazilian there. Okay, so Janice Tjen here serving at 4-2. Fonseca and Marozsan just having a little rest as they reset for the second set. Marozsan is going to return. Actually, Marozsan and Fonseca returning to the court, so this second set can begin. Tjen here serving, by the way, 4-2, but she's love 15, and she's going to miss that forehand as well, so it's going to be love 30. Okay. Ace there from Tjen. 15-30. Fonseca and Marajan are already underway at the beginning of their set. And it's love 30 on the Marajan serve. Oh, another ace there for Tjen to get to 40-30. And by the way, Marajan is love 40 on his serve. So it's 3 break points, and it's going to be a second serve for Fonseca as well at love 40. Tjen has a game point for 5-2. Backhand from Putintseva. Good depth there from Yulia. Slice now from Tjen. Run around forehand. Oh, goes into the net from Tjen, from Putintseva. So a change of ends. 5-2 Tjen leads. João Fonseca. Is he going to get the break? Let's have a look. The volley there from Marajan. Too good. 15-40. But still, break points needed to be saved here. Oh, Marajan, good serve. Ace there. 30-40. Oh, unreturned serve. So we're back to deuce here, Marajan. Fonseca. Suddenly. That's a big hold for the Hungarian. They will change ends. Now, Putintseva serving to stay in this first set. She does win the first point to get us to 15-love. But after this game, Janice Tjen will be serving for the first. If Yulia holds, that is. As for Marajan and Fonseca, well, Marajan got over a huge hole there at love 40. Okay, run around forehand return. It's a really good return from Janice Tjen. We're still in the rally here, though. Some good depth from both players. And now Tjen dumps a forehand into the net. 30-love. So, João Fonseca serving here. 15-love. But 15-love becomes 15-all. Putintseva serving. 2-5, 30-love. Forehand return from Janice. Backhand now from Yulia. Putintseva goes into the net. 30-15. Forehand here from Putintseva into the backhand of Tjen. Slice now from Putintseva. Messes up the slice entirely. And it's 30 all. Forehand return there from Marajan. Forehand now to the forehand of João Fonseca. And João goes long, does he, with that forehand? Yes, he does. 30 all. Putintseva here does have a game point to get us to 5-3. But Fonseca here, a little bit of pressure on his serve at 30 all. And Putintseva does win the next point to get us to 5-3. So Janice Tjen now serving for the set. Fonseca should win this with a volley. Does. 40-30. So over to Janice Tjen to see if she can serve this out. Fonseca here with a game point to get us to 1 all. So Tjen serving 15 love. Second serve here for Putintseva to look at. Okay, 15 all here. Tjen does well there, though, with a forehand winner, 30-15. Fonseca here with a game point at advantage. Being made to work by Marajan. Is Tjen going to be made to work to serve this out? We'll see. Forehand now for Putintseva is pretty good. Tjen can't chase that down. 30 all. Are we going to get the break back with Tjen serving for this first set? I've seen Tjen get a bit nervous and wobble a few times before with good advantages over Osorio and I think it was Christian, wasn't it, in Indian Wells? Is the same going to happen here? 5-3, 30 all. Tjen serving for the set. Ace down the tee. There you go, Janice. Fonseca has a game point, by the way, at love 1. Tjen, set point, 40-30. Ace out wide. Tjen wins that game. 6-3. Tjen wins the first set. Fonseca has a game point for 1 all again. But again, Marajan on the attack should put this smash away and does. Deuce. So, change of ends for Putintseva and Janice Tjen. Of course, when they return to the court, Putintseva will be serving first in this second set. But so far, Janice doing well. She held her nerve and her serve there. A game point now once again for João Fonseca. It was a good first serve from help set up the forehand. And I can just hear, I think, Carson James needs a code. Just give me a moment, Carson, and I'll bring you forward. Just give me a moment. In fact, we'll take a quick break, and then when you return, Carson and James will see out this match. But we'll take a quick break, and we'll see you shortly.
Ready? Play.
And if you're wondering what this little thing is, well, let me tell you now, whether it be tea, coffee, or merely water, it tastes so much better from a talking tennis mug. And you know what? They can be yours if you wish to purchase one from our website. We've also got bags and stickers and hoodies and notebooks. Mira Andreeva. T-shirts as well, of course, coming in both black and white. And we've got a classic jumper for you as well, and many, many other things for you to purchase for excellent prices so you can look like some of the coolest people on the tour. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Hey, Carson.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. James is on his way. He will join you. If this is done super quickly, and I don't think it will be, but, you know, who knows? Just seeing, yeah, well, it could be because I love 15 here. If this is done super quickly, you guys are more than welcome to join the... Hey, James, if this is done super quickly, you're more than welcome to join the... Let's just say she gets this done in 25 minutes or something like that, for example, from now. Come and join me on the Tjen Fonseca stream, if that's still going, basically, is what I'm saying. But otherwise, just stick with this. This could well go 3. This could well be 2.5 hours, you know, but it could also be done in 20 minutes. You know how it is with tennis. If it's the latter, it's done quickly. Come join me for Tjen and Fonseca.
Sounds good.
No worries. How you doing, Carson?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Doing all right.
Yeah. Have you seen any of this match up to this point, or?
Very little.
I
I'm
have
just catching some. I think we're in a similar boat. We're like, you know, expecting, you know, going to come in and hit. Oh, if I could speak. Yeah, expecting to see something good maybe occurring.
Yeah, hopefully. It's 15:30 at the moment. I think 15:40 here. I'm not sure where your stream is at.
Yeah, I got just got to 15:40. Just seeing the ball fly long. Yeah. On that one there.
Millimeters long on that one. Very close by break points.
Tjen trying to get it wrapped up. So what have you been up to, Carson? What have you been up to?
Lots of work stuff. Moved recently, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a stressful thing. Moving around.
It is. Jen gets the break in this first game.
Putintseva is Putin unhappy.
Yeah, I mean, with Putintseva, like, who knows what could happen? Like, she could mentally fall apart here, and this, as John said, could be over in 20 minutes or so, but it would not surprise anyone at all if this turned into a long 3-set match.
Yeah, I mean, Putintseva has that ability to have certain like peaks and troughs throughout the course of a contest. And Jen, has a lot of her facets to her game, but her serve isn't necessarily a strong part yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's potentially very attackable.
That's been her weakness in matches recently. Losses to Osorio in Marina, and then Jacqueline Christian in Indian Wells.
Oh yeah.
So. Been a little bit of a tough start to the year for her after an incredible 2025. Hoping to find some form here in Miami. conditions that maybe play a little bit more to her strengths than Indian Wells do, in my opinion. We've got 15 all here. Looks like it's a little bit windy there. You can see the trees blowing around.
Yeah, this is a tab with the wind.
At least there's no rain though.
No, that's the main thing. I mean, there's been way too much rain there.
Mm-hmm. This is a first round match. Of course, I'm sure many of you watching have been following along, but you know that there's some second round matches that have already happened today because essentially we've had no tennis this week up until this point. So I think I saw there were like 51 or 52 matches on the order of play for today, which, I mean, the Grand Slams don't even get to that number in a day now that they have a 3-day weekend to begin. So lots and lots of tennis here.
Well, all it's saying is that if you're in the grounds, your ground pass is going to be a pretty good ticket today. You're going to have a lot of courts that you're going to be able to choose your seating on.
Yeah, lots of seating, and we'll probably let play go a little bit later than normal today, so plenty of time to take advantage of it as well.
Just had what seems to be a problem with the ball.
Looks like
good serve there from Tjen.
Game
good here for potentially an early consolidate, at least to try and go 2-love up. What is, of course, the last hard court event for of the main season for a while. Oh,
yeah, we had to play.
Unlucky there from Putintseva.
Yeah, just a little bit out. We had to play in a week and a half. And then going to Charleston, of course, primarily. Play on some of the green clay.
Yes, that's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Say coming up soon. That's the most obvious comment possible. It's coming up after this event. Good way for some of the WTA players to be able to stick around in North America, maybe for an extra week or two.
And then essentially 2.5 months of play, and then grass after that.
It's weird to think that clay's around the corner. That is a weird thing to think about. The start of the season felt like it's gone so quick, and it just feels like it was only 5 minutes ago we were at the Australian swing.
And this is a good forehand from Putintseva.
Say that again, Carlson, sorry?
It's a good forehand from Putintseva at this point. Really, 30 left here. But yeah, the season has gone by very, very quickly, and a lot has happened.
So much has happened. Ooh, wind's blowing.
Well, let me know what happens here. My stream has frozen temporarily. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Good.
The match stream.
Your match stream. I thought you meant I've frozen on you for a second there, and I was like, that's
no.
That's just a tad unfortunate if that's the case.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully that comes back quickly.
By the way, I hope my sound sounds okay. I'm in a different room than what I usually stream in, and I've made a brave, bold decision to try and not wear headphones. 3D ears. #.
Yes. Sounds good to me.
Looks like.
All right. Back.
Looks like Putintseva going to hold here, maybe. Tjen's put a big play on this point. They're really moving the Kazakh around the court. Oh, but a wayward. Oh, no, that was in. That was in. I thought that was out. Great work there from
Very
Tjen.
close.
Oh, that literally was in by like a hair whisker. That was close. That was very close. I always find it bizarre. We have this very blue type court and blue type background, and all of it, and there's just these small little pops of the people in the bright orange shirts and the board. Feels like two polar different, not different types of display.
Putintseva holds this game. So gets on the board in the second set. Does feel like Tjen has been the better player through the 3 games that I've seen, though.
Oh, yeah?
Just seems like she's a step ahead on a lot of points, so see if Putintseva can find something throughout this set to draw back even.
You get a little shot of the of the cable cars. Oh, and what looks like the clouds. A few more clouds coming over. That's not a good sign.
Not particularly. Does look like it's going to be relatively clear as far as the rain goes, though.
Oh, you're doing a quick weather report.
Yeah. Just want to make sure. Got some scar tissue from this tournament already, so
yeah. Sometimes it looks like it's going to be absolutely chucking it down, and it then becomes that it's an all right day, and the next thing you know, you think the day's going to be okay, and it's a complete washout.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Florida, but that's kind of typical Florida weather.
Noted. I've never been to Florida before, but I'll keep that noted in my memory bank.
Yeah.
Never trust the rain or the weather. So I'm guessing then you must have been to. Have you been to Florida then, Carson?
I have been. Growing up, my family would go there sometimes for vacation. So like Disney World is there, so been there before. I've never been to the Miami Open, but I have been to Miami one time. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think last night I was scrolling through Twitter, and saw a picture of like the main stadium court. And at first I thought just because of how much water was on the court, I thought it was an Olympic swimming pool. Just like with how the water was lying on this like blue court with everything around, and then you saw the lines, and I was like, I thought they were like the ropes they have in between swim lanes originally, and I was like, why is there a swimming content on my timeline? Nope, just a flooded tennis court.
This area of Miami, it's gone from just having the main stadium for American football. Next, it's got have the tennis. It's got the F1 track running around it now. But hey, presto, why don't we have a major swimming competition take place in the middle of it?
There's been enough water for it, that's for sure. All right, 15-30 in this game. Maybe a little bit of an opening for Putintseva. I'm 15-40 now. Couple of breakpoint chances.
Oh, this may not be as plain sailing as it was potentially looking. Oh, that just
All right,
about
gets the
paints
break.
the line.
Two all. It was a very good return game for Putintseva. We'll get into rallies really quickly. This is a nice serve out wide. Took up the point on a return serve.
There we go. Just trying to sort out my laptop there. It was making an absolute racket. Got some sort of cough, so if I end up coughing too much, Carson, please do excuse it.
It's all good. All good. This is a very quick hold from Yulia.
And the next thing you know, it's this set's flipped on its head. 3-2 now to Putintseva.
A couple of very good games from her after that last changeover. So, what is that now? Yeah, so 4 or 5 games have been won from that end of the court.
It does look like the wind is that's the direction that the wind is blowing into. Is towards the back end of the whilst we're watching it, it's that far end of the court. The wind seems to be blowing that way, which could mean that I could explain why it is as it is, and it's actually probably a little bit more harder to control the ball, being at the full ground of the court, being right at the front of it, where the wind is picking up your ball and taking it down, whereas you're just hitting against the wind on the other side, and then and you have a bit more control.
Makes serving a bit more difficult as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that plays a part throughout the rest of this match. See if this continues. These couple of service games coming up. Tjen now serving. Some nice forehands on this point. In the middle of a rally. Longer rally to open up this game. Tjen puts a forehand into the net. Up 15, a little bit of pressure now.
It is indeed. It really has switched on its head at this stage.
Good backhand rally here. Drop shot from Putintseva. Jen barely gets to it, but pushes the ball out just outside the lines. So love 30 now.
Jeez.
With Putintseva style, she's pretty happy to just grind out some of these games, and I mean, really at this point, it's just taking control of them.
Yes.
Waiting for Jen to make some mistakes, and they're coming at the moment. The second serve now.
Second serve to face.
And oh, it's a double. 3 break points now.
To basically try and win 4 games in the bounce.
Yeah.
Janice is going to have to pick this up.
Can't do it on this point. It's a break, and Putintseva up 4 games to 2 now. About to serve. It's amazing how quickly, she's been able to take control here. These 4 games, it hasn't taken that much time, it feels like.
No, it hasn't at all. It's 23 minutes on the clock. She was 2-0 down, or 2-love down, and now is 4-2 up, serving to make it 5-2. It could be in less than 25 minutes.
That's a very nice drop shot from her. Inside out on that one. Oh, great serve. Got 30-11 now. Trying to power through this game as well.
It's like one of those things you do against your opponent is that, you kind of go, okay, I lost that first set. What can I do? Try and win the second set as quickly as possible. And your opponent doesn't really know what's happened, and they're already at back level.
Mm-hmm. It's 40-love here. Jen seems maybe a little bit frustrated. She's taking some bigger hacks at some of these returns now. Not hitting them very accurately. So there's just a little bit of frustration at how quickly this is turned around. I don't know if this is the right decision from Putintseva on that point. The drop shot. Jen seemed to, she was going to get there, even if it did get over. Not very well disguised, in my opinion. That was a great return from Jen. But Putintseva able to get back into the point. Holds the point, holds the game. It's 5-2 now.
5-2. Putintseva. It's a really weird way of going around the net.
I've noticed that she's going out there every single time.
I just noticed that. I was like, that's a really bizarre way to actually get to your seat when you're on the other side of the net. Most players just cross at the umpire's chair. But it's almost like what wheelchair athletes do, which is they have to go around the further part of the net post from the umpire's chair.
Yeah. I don't know why she's doing that.
Unless it's a new superstition. Or she really doesn't like Janice Tjen.
Maybe doesn't like this umpire. Who knows? I don't know if you're in the comments and know anything about that. Go ahead and tell us in the chat.
Yeah, do go back to chat. We can see that there's people watching. Please do comment, say hi, all that lovely stuff. As we get a shot of somebody in the crowd with a Hobart International hat on. That person is a very long way from home.
Yeah,
at least from Hobart.
Really the opposite end of the world.
But it just showed the great international element of the sport is that you can see people in the crowd with sporting merchandise from tennis tournaments that take place halfway across the world.
And now serving to try and stay in the second set. She'll win this first point. Slice from Putintseva falls into the net.
Yeah, going for a slice when you're against the wind is not the smartest of options.
Mm-hmm. Right, nice little rally here on this point. And was that in? Must have barely been in. Thought Putintseva's shot was going to sail out, but it's in, and then Janice Tjen's shot goes just a little bit out. 15 all here. Right, 15-30. Definitely an opening here. Just better defense from Putintseva on that point. We'll see a second serve now. Really massive point here for both players. Putintseva does a slice on the return.
Oh yeah, she does go for the slice.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't do anything. It actually sits up way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know about you, but it looks like it's like some like droplets or something on the camera.
Maybe, I can't really tell.
Could be just be the sun reflection, but
all right, 40-30 now. Game point. Really good serve. Oh, no. Oh, it just misses a sitter.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, sure, got some game there. But we're at deuce now. Advantage Tjen. Now after Putintseva lobs one out of play. Putintseva has been slicing a lot in this game, which going into the win is it seems like a fascinating decision. I'm not quite sure I agree with the tactic there as Tjen gets in ace out wide to hold the game. 5-3 now for Putintseva, but yeah, I'm not sure what you make of that, James. Seems like a I don't know, maybe not the smartest tactic at that end of the court.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. I wouldn't be trying to do slicing into the wind. I just think that's a recipe for disaster because it's either not going to reach the net or it's going to go over the net. But because you've had to put so much power on it, it's going to have such a high bounce. It's going to give your opponent so much time to be able to go in and collect it. And effectively, you're just giving them a very short ball for them to be able to step in on. Oh, what a cross-court winner there.
Mm-hmm. Really good from her. Putintseva attempting to serve out this second set, force a decider. I don't have my volume up, so I'm not quite sure what's happening.
I think what happened there was that she tossed the ball up and it went and she put such a curve on the ball that it flew right over her head.
Yeah. I think the umpire did say something. I'm not sure if someone was making sound or if he was saying something to Putintseva. Who knows?
Oh, that's out.
Just 15 all here. Tjen gets a little bit lucky with the net cord, forces Putintseva to come in. She recovers well. Ends up smashing a winner away. 30-15. Some good defense from Tjen. Put the forehand winner away very authoritatively. 30 all now. Massive point coming up in this game.
It is. We could either see Tjen come back, or it could be Putintseva looking to hold out the second set.
So rally both them playing through the middle of the court here.
Oh, and Tjen buries the ball into the middle of the net. And that gives Putintseva a set point to make it go the distance. And there we go.
Yeah.
It is one set apiece.
Well, we head to a third now. A couple of fairly quick sets. 39 minutes and 35 minutes apiece, if I'm doing my math correctly. Going to third now. Bring up the scoreboard. A quick break here. See what else is happening around the grounds. WTA side. Looks like Selekmetova just knocked out Ringo. 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. Yeah. Yulia won earlier. Paula Badosa won her match. good to see her actually complete a match. Relatively healthy anyway.
Yes. Yeah, from retiring from Indian Wells last week. It's very good for that.
Yeah. Taylor Gibson beats Sarah Balick 6-1, 6-love. Quite straightforward. And then James, you probably saw this already, but Fran Jones beating Venus Williams 7-5, 7-5.
I did indeed.
Yeah.
It's
and then,
yeah, I mean, Fran was great at the end. She put her racket down and she kind of almost bowed towards Venus as like a mark of respect.
Yeah, they had a nice moment
really
at the
nice
net.
hug with her. Yeah, it was it was apparent that Fran was so excited to at least have the ability to have played Venus Williams. At some point. Yes, this is a 45-year-old Venus Williams that is well past her best, but it's still, the chance to play her in a competitive match that she'll remember for a while, and on a big court as well. Grandstand.
Yep. A great moment for her. Peyton Stearns goes through in straight sets.
The interesting thing was that somebody brought up in commentary, which is, okay, Venus Williams has been getting a lot of these wild cards to a lot of events, mainly in the US, since what was it, Washington last year. But only in Washington did she actually ever win a match. All the other times she's lost in the first in a first round. Is there a point in which tournaments should start thinking about maybe about not giving her a wild card? That was the
question. A great question, and it's a great question. One that's certainly fair to ask. She's 0-6, I think, on the year now. A 9-match losing streak, I think, and like 15 of this last 16. It's so tough because obviously she's a legend of the sport, and she's got more Grand Slam titles than any other active player on the WTA side right now. So, but for sure, well past her prime, and it's a tough balance. Like, she's done so much for the game, and where's the line in between? You let legends play as long as they want to, and we're not trying to force anyone into retirement, but also, like, there's not many other players on the tour that are losing matches as often as she is without getting some wins. So, it's a tough balance because that could be someone else's wild card spot, some young up-and-comer player that's looking for the opportunity. So I don't have an answer on how long it can or should go on necessarily, but it's, I'm sure something that tournaments are thinking about. And what are your thoughts on it?
The main thing is that to remember is that wild card positions are inherently unfair, undemocratic, and unbased on merits. It's basically based on, a lot of tournaments will try and choose wildcards, as you say. There may be either youngsters from a certain country, which they want to, give some playing opportunities at a big main tour event. They could potentially be, as we've seen with like IMG, that there may be big tennis conglomerates that are looking to promote their own youngsters and their own athletes in foreign events, or that or they're looking for players that have a big name and have a big presence. That means that you could put them on prime time in the first couple of days of your tournament when your big stars, your big current stars who are still yet to play their first round matches. They may have buys, or they may be planning to play them later on in the week to do so. And then these almost like these past it but older stars are able to bring in some crowds and bring in some atmosphere and talk about your tournament at an early stage. But then, as you say, there is a point where Venus Williams' ranking is in the 500s. It is an absolute goldmine of it. that's not even, somebody in the 500s on the women's tour right now is not even getting into, W75s or even, but maybe just about squeaking into qualifying for W50s. Nowhere near even like W100s or WTA 125s in terms of opponent. And if you Fran Jones really, or any player that draws them, it's a bit of a brilliant golden ticket to what should be seen as a bit more of a straightforward first round win, freer points and prize money. So I hope any of that made sense as just a little soliloquy.
If any of you are watching and have thoughts about it you want to throw in the comments, please do so.
Yeah, please do
Love to hear your thoughts. Meanwhile, we are on serve here. In the third set, each of them has served a game now. Each of them has held their game as Putintseva just puts a winner away. So 1-1 here.
One of the things in which I've been thinking about, and it's probably down to the fact that I've been watching a little bit more golf now than I've ever have done before, is actually maybe borrowing something from their system, which is about past champions, and specifically thinking of the golfing majors, where regardless, if you win, say, so the big event coming up soon is the Masters in Augusta. If you won the Masters before in the past, it doesn't matter when, and you're still fit and able to play at somewhat even just competitive level, even on the senior tour, you will be given an invite pretty much every year to play in the Masters after that time that you win it, almost as your sort of past champion thing. Could potentially tennis look at something similar instead to make so instead of having a wildcard system, which is very sporadic, very you're not unpredictable, that you actually maybe have maybe some slots in a tournament's calendar which will be specific to a past champion, so that they could enter the tournament knowing that they that they're not really taking a slot from somebody else, and then if that slot doesn't need to be taken, then that slot could be given back to another player on the tour. I don't know what you think about that idea.
Yeah, obviously there's a difference in physicality between golf and tennis, for sure. There's a just from the athleticism and movement part especially, where golf, maybe you're able to play at a peak level longer than you are as a tennis player. I think in some places it could make tennis not the greatest place to try it out, but I mean, how many times do we see like past champions of especially Grand Slams get wild cards into the Grand Slam events, even if the ranking isn't maybe necessarily where it needs to be. You think of like Stan Wawrinka earlier this year at the Australian Open on the men's side. So it's not specifically a Venus Williams conversation. Like there's other players who take advantage of that as well. So I think I do think there should. I'm open to that, but I would want some sort of ranking and activity cutoffs, where like you have to actually have played a certain number of matches over the previous year, provided you haven't been injured. But it's like if you win Wimbledon, you can't just like roll up to Wimbledon one match a year for your. I don't know how much prize money is for the first round, but you can't just like only show up to that, or some ranking cutoff where you automatically qualify for it, or like a Grand Slam if you're in the top 200 or top 250 still.
And what you could do as well is you could I like you say, we're making policy up on the hoof here, which is brilliant. But as you say, a ranking cutoff, an activity cutoff being key for a main draw. I think, like you say, like 250, maybe even to be a bit generous, 300 in the world. If you were ranked in the top 300 in the world, then you would then get given a spot in the main draw. And what you could say is that for any player that maybe drops between 300 and maybe 600, could be given a slot into qualifying for the event. That way, although because your rankings dropped a little bit lower, there was a concern about quality, but you've at least been able to enter the draw in some description.
Yeah, I think it could be an interesting conversation to have. And I think at the same time, you have to consider, like, so many of the wild cards do, especially for larger events, 1000s, Grand Slams, do get handed to younger up-and-coming players who just aren't going to have the same opportunities to get wild cards at like a 250. I think it's already difficult enough as a young player to break into the ranking spots where you can qualify straight into those events. So yeah, I think that there's things that could be done with the wild card system, maybe a little bit differently. And what's up, Ghosty?
It's good to see Ghosty in the chat. I've not seen you for a while, Ghosty. Ghosty had literally become an actual ghost.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is this comment is a compliment for me or a dig at you, but if it's a compliment for me, I'm
in order of
willing to accept it.
Was that talking? Is he talking about hair there? I bet he's talking about hair there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've been busier than usual. No worries, Ghosty. It was good to see you in the chat.
And with a game point here. And double faults it away. So we're on deuce in this third game. Of the set. One game all still.
Before work today.
I not been hunting any mountain lions, but not really my thing, you know. Another double fault here. Now a break point for Putintseva. There's never a good time to double fault twice in a row, but doing it when you're add up to go add down is a quite bad time to do it. Maybe a second serve. This one does get into play. All right, Tjen puts the third shot of the rally into the net with her backhand. So it's a break point for the Kazakhstani player.
James, what do you think about the F1 movie? Does it make sense that Brad Pitt is in it? He's like 60 plus years old. Nobody can survive that sort of G-force. By the way, is Putintseva pregnant? She's looking plump in the mid. I think I'll be careful there, Ghosty. I don't think she's pregnant. Yeah. She's generally an athlete that has been more built around that midriff than most other athletes on the tour. She's gone for the crop top skirt combo.
Maybe it's just her shirt, but like that Craig Shapiro type comment there.
It's a good question about the F1 movie. I've not watched it yet. It is on my hit list to watch the F1 movie because it did get some good reviews from people that watched it. It's a bit funny that Brad Pitt does play a driver there. But Brad Pitt can look like he's more in his 40s than actually in his 60s, and and he can probably get away playing an actor like that. especially given the fact that in F1 right now, in F1 right now, you've got Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Both drivers are in their 40s, and both drivers are still, producing really good performances. Big Cool John here to say hi and to remember who the big caller is. The big caller is. Well, for a second there, John was going to announce that we're going to get Big John in. Bosh. Get him on the stream.
Yeah.
Proper great. Let's be honest, there's Lewis Hamilton and there's everybody else. There is indeed.
Is Lewis Hamilton in his 40s now?
He is, yeah.
Wow.
I believe so. Hang on, let me double check that. I've just made a sweeping statement on camera. Pretty sure. 41 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was Lewis Hamilton that got me into F1 back in 2007. He's been the guy I've followed ever since, and I'm quite surprised that the year is 2026 and he's still driving. But he's at the top of the game. He finished third in China at the weekend. And there's potentially, if that Ferrari can pick up a little bit more pace, could potentially be a title challenger. Are you much into F1, Carson, or are you more of a NASCAR or an IndyCar sort of person?
F1 more than like anything else. I don't really follow IndyCar or NASCAR at all. So F1 like recreationally, but I don't watch it too much.
Because I know F1 hadn't, barring up until like a couple of years ago, hadn't really broken through in the States. It was something that seems still a bit of an oddity. But thanks to like things like Drive to Survive and a massive increase in different marketing, it's ballooned in the States. I mean, they've now got 3 races. Funny enough, one of the races is around where this tennis event's taking place.
We've got Austin, Miami, as you mentioned, and then Las Vegas as well, which seems to be a lot of people's least favorite of the Grand Prix. But yeah, I mean, shows like Drive to Survive, obviously, I think, and just like general marketing as well. It is for sure a lot more interesting. Yeah, as Ghosty was saying, like F1 is more interesting than NASCAR. I mean, NASCAR, you're literally driving around a circle over and over and over again. So there's it does get a little bit boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the great disappointments of Breakpoint is that it was after Drive to Survive and a couple of other shows. There was the real hope that if F1 did its own Drive to Survive type thingy on Netflix, that it could really attract people in. And actually, they ended up concentrating on completely the wrong stories, and it ended up dying a death after a couple of seasons. And all they ended up wanting to do was just do a specialized one on Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, I had very high hopes for Breakpoint that it could. I mean, even outside of that, tennis is for sure having a cultural moment in the United States. It's, I think, as big as it has been here since, the 90s, the 80s even. There's a ton of energy and, just more like general public knowledge about it, which is great. But I had much higher hopes for Breakpoint, and I mean it's tough. There's less certainty year from year about who the top players are going to be. Yeah, and I mean you decide to focus on like players like Berrettini and Tomjanovic, and then they're injured for the majority of that season. And then
it felt like incredibly bizarre decisions, and then of course the pièce de résistance in the second season was them basically doing an entire episode based on Sasha Zverev to reform his character and without any context as to the reason why he actually is quite a divisive figure in the world of tennis.
Yeah, and I understand like he's a top player and you want to cover the story of him coming back after a brutal injury. I get that, but there's there's a larger conversation about him that needs to happen that wasn't covered at all. So,
but the worst thing is actually if you the whitewashing of Zverev was not fun. Yeah, the worst thing is actually of the entirety of the second season, if you take out the fact that it was Sasha Zverev, that episode of Zverev was actually one of the best ones of the actual season.
Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah, one of the best of the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, it was an entire episode which had not happened for anyone else. Yeah, everyone else it had been, 2 or 3 players connected to one episode at a time, whereas he had just one whole episode dedicated to him, and they based it around him winning his Hamburg home title. Coming and the comeback from injury, and that being the first title he picked up, winning in his home, in his home city. And you take out who the person was, it was actually a brilliant episode, and so it was a real shame that they chose that and they did what they did.
That's great. Tjen's facing another break point now, down 30-40 in this game. I feel like this gives a really big moment if Putintseva is able to get another break here. Could be the match. Tjen able to put a massive forehand away, though. So we're a deuce.
She's doing her best, Tjen, to stick in here. Really doing her best to stick in this contest.
Ooh. That's unfortunate.
That's lack of confidence in that one there.
Yeah. It just did not need to be that good. Putintseva was on the other side of the court. So did not need to be brushing any paint there. She goes right for the line and misses it. Another break point here.
Just looks like singles. Ghost. Just look. I can't see her on the doubles entry list. Either Tjen or Iala.
Yeah, I don't follow doubles close to as much as singles, so I don't know.
I must admit, I follow doubles, but I follow doubles mainly from the Brits that play doubles. And because the Brits are generally doing very well. Oh, Jesus.
That was interesting.
That ball really died. Like, she went in for a swing expecting the ball to be 1-1 place, and it was in the complete, it was significantly lower than that.
Yeah, not sure if that was just a really weird bounce or if she just completely misread it, but quite a whiff there. Oh, this is a nice slice drop from Tjen.
Slicing and dicing, Janice.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a John Silk forehand.
Let's see if John gets back on here. It looks like Fonseca just won his match against Marjan in 3 sets. Let's see if he joins me.
Oh, so we're gonna get Carlitos Charlie Alcaraz versus Yao Fonseca in the second round. Tasty.
Look for that one to be put on the stadium court night session.
That is top billing night session. There's no other way there's nowhere else that one is going than that place.
Yep. Yeah, Silky was over there calling the other match we've got live right now, which it's wrapped up a moment ago, so I assume he's doing some post commentary on it. And yeah, maybe he'll jump back over here. But Tjen holds. Still down 2-3 in this final set. Putintseva serving next.
good to hear. Good to see that Lucy Tagger, the young Austrian, very young Austrian, who's real promising with a fantastic single-handed backhand, was able to win a first-round match against Schneidel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw that. That was in a third set earlier.
You got an update from the Dimi match, just to let me get you an update from the Dimitrov match.
They're
Currently
in a tiebreak.
Yeah, they're in a tiebreak at the moment in the third set.
Dimitrov, I think he was just serving for it. I was not able to get it out. The third set tiebreak. It's the. Oh, I was going to call him young. He's not super young.
Who? Dimitrov.
Kolinon.
Oh yeah.
So
Rafael Kolinon. What, 23?
24. So 24. I mean, not old by any stretch of the imagination, but
he had a bit. What was it last? Oh, we got the trainer out for Janice. Because because remember Rafael had a couple of good runs at the back end of last year in a few of the indoor tournaments. It kind of led people to go, oh, maybe there's going to be another Belgian talent's going to pop up.
He's at 72 in the world right now.
I'll tell you something though. Ghost has just mentioned about Ethan Quinn taking out Ubi Urkac. It's going to be one of those things that needs to get studied. How is it that we went from Ubi Urkac looking like an absolute world beater at the United Cup to then basically unable to be able to win a match? It seems since then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's been a tough couple of months for him. He looked like he was gonna get back to, or like had some capability to get back to like top 15 with how he was playing at United Cup. And
I mean, it was scarily good what he was able to do in Sydney.
Yes, and like coming off of injury, very, very impressive. Looks like Tjen going off court for medical timeout. Typically, that means something with
a private part,
lower back or groin.
Yeah.
So,
what's Putintseva doing?
Yeah. Might be going over to Dr. Coaching team
as well. She's like, I'm just going to follow her. It'll be such a Putintseva type move. She decides, I'm going to follow her in. I know she's up to no good here. She's up to absolutely no good. I'm going to find it.
Marin Cilic came through against Papirin. Straights.
Good one from Cilic.
Yeah. Papirin is
really,
he's had a rough 12 months.
Yeah. I mean, what's his ranking? I mean, he's got to have had a bit of a fall. It's 47. Crikey, how's he holding on to that ranking?
Great question. I have no clue where he's even defended points. Darwin Blanche. I didn't see that. He beat Struff in 3 sets.
Oh, Struffy.
Yeah. And
Berrettini took out Alexandra Muller, 6-4, 6-2. Good win for Berrettini. Unfortunately, Jacob Fernie had to retire against Martin Dam.
I was just going to ask you about that. Do you know what happened there? I hadn't seen anything about that.
No, I mean, I caught bits of the match. It just seemed like Dan was overpowering him. Obviously, Jacob's not feeling great. It's a shame, really. From
6-love in
Wales, I'm hoping it could have run on from there.
Yeah, 6-love in 23 minutes. Very, very quick.
It's good to see Rafael Hodar. I mean, honestly, an absolute revelation to me. In the last 3 months, Rafael, from somebody who I knew nothing about until the Next Gen finals that took place in December, put in stonking performances there, and then it seems to have just been getting good wins and little runs at main tour events in the first half of this season. He's going to be a real danger on the clay, Rafael, as well. I've only ever seen him on the hard court. I expect as a Spaniard that he'd be pretty neat on the dirt.
Tsitsipas comes through. Straight sets. The Brit versus Furry.
Shame there for Ferry.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame for Berry there. It's of course the big interesting story is Musai Kouami, the 17-year-old French player, ranked 300 on the world, came in on a wild card, probably because he's an IMG player, beating Zachary Schneider, the qualifier, in three sets in 2017. He looked like he was really struggling in the heat, the Frenchman, but was just able to find enough energy to serve out the match and to get his first Masters win.
Yeah, born in 2009. Makes me feel old.
I was in year 8 in 2009. That makes it makes me feel incredibly old that we got a 17-year-old that's somebody born that year. I mean, like he's old enough to he's born after after the financial crash. The guy has never known smartphones.
Yeah, Ghosty, we'll keep you updated on Dimitrov. As for Elmer Mueller, ranking has fallen a little bit. I think he's in the 120s right now. He's playing in a challenger event in Murcia right now. So he played in the South American swing a little bit, and then I know he was down there for a challenger, and back in Spain now for clay court challenger.
Yeah, I mean, the clay court season is just around the corner when the Murcia Challenger rocks up. You're like, Christ, we're actually very close to it. Not too long we're going to see, Budapest and Marrakesh and Houston all in action, and then it's going to be Monte Carlo, and then we're really into the thick of it. Murcia, Spain, Murcia in Spain.
It looks like Justin Engel went out today. Young German player.
Yeah, he's not really kicked on recently, Justin. I mean, he was fantastic. What was it in the middle of last season? But he's just hit a bit of a rough patch, which is not unexpected for such a young talent. And he needs to be nurtured. It's a bit of a shock of that one.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good weapons. I think long term he's going to be just fine. But yeah, been a little bit of a slower start to the year for him. I think.
One thing I remembered is that what happened to that kid that decided to draw a crucifix on the ground in Munich? We haven't seen anything of him recently. Do you remember him?
Yeah, well.
I'm looking at Carlson. He's looking like, what do you mean a player that drew a crucifix? There was that German kid, very young, who beat Shapo, and then he celebrated so ecstatically that he decided to draw a cross on the clay and then laid right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was a very weird thing.
Yeah. He said, "I got the crucifix."
It's a medical timeout now.
I mean, right now I'm just getting some lovely shots of some silhouetted palm trees and seeing the little cable cars just going from one side to another. Oh.
Yeah, Dimitrov. It's 6-all in the third set tiebreak.
6-all, freaking heck!
So Dimitrov, 44 in the world right now. All right, this match is starting back up.
We are playing again.
Yeah. Jen misses a forehand into the net. Kulin has a match point now.
Kulin. Bravo, Kulin.
So this is a good point from Jen. Great offense from her. All right, Ghosty, final update on the Dimitrov match because he has fallen out in the first round against Rafael Callion. Third set tie break.
I do wonder if Dimi will ever be able to get to any good level ever again. Really, I mean, he's not really been able to do anything, since coming back.
We'll see. Hopefully he finds something in the coming months. Play not necessarily his favorite, so.
No, it really isn't actually.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. 4-2 for Putintseva now. Holds on to his serve.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I found quite funny actually is looking at the tower boxes here is that on one of them they've got like 2 little hand dispensers to clean your hands. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Certainly got ball girls and ball boys sending them across. We got somebody going. Come on, Tjen, we love you from PH Philippines.
Philippines, yes.
Oh, Putintseva.
Yeah,
getting the first point on the board.
Yeah, having those hand sanitizers on the.
I think Clock we're already at 27,800 subscribers. That's phenomenal. We're going to get close to hitting 30,000.
Oh, we're not far off. Well on our way to 1 million. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. We want 1 million subs.
We want that gold YouTube play button. Or John will have at least in his house.
John will have it.
And then
he may take a picture of it.
If he's generous, take a picture of it and let us see a picture of it. But first of all, we need 100,000. We need to get that silver button.
And before 100K, we need to hit 27,864. Just think about it. You could be our 27,864th subscriber.
In a few years' time, when this channel ends up, controlling all of tennis media, you can say you were there, right there, and you were in the 20,000s.
Painting the lines with that shot.
Serve there from Tjen. Yeah. Great serve.
Yeah.
Just looking to hold on here. She can just stay 1 break point behind. You never know. Putintseva can, can change.
For sure. It's been a good,
come on,
roughly hour from Putintseva, but we know how quickly that can change. All right. She holds on to the game. Now 4-3 for Putintseva, serving up next. It's turned into a pretty good match, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame both players haven't played their best at the exact same time because it could have been really entertaining. But certainly as we've got this issue with the
trainer back out
with Tjen. I mean, they're very careful there. She's had the medical time out. Yeah, she's struggling.
Just some treatment here.
This better only be a minute because she's already had a medical time out.
Just some quick treatment for her.
I can see some Brazilian fans that are in the stands. Obviously, they've left the stadium now, wanting to catch a bit more tennis before the day is done. Just actually having a look at the orders of play, they seem to, certainly the outside courts, I know they started them really early, didn't they? Like 10 o'clock local time. But they look like the day session matches on all the outside courts could be coming to an end in the next couple of hours, which I'll be pretty happy with to try and at least get through their entire order of play.
That would be good after the last couple of days have been essentially non-existent.
Hmm.
Iga Swiatek about to take the court on Stadium against Magda Linette. Be a big one, and then Diana Yastremska. Yeah, a couple of pulls, and then Diana Yastremska and Ashlyn Kruger about to begin. Going to be a lot of tennis balls that are hit very, very hard in that match, with hopefully high levels of accuracy, but never know with the two of them.
Oh. Tjen here, that's wins the first point.
Yeah,
crikey. Yeah, Kruger is a bit of a basher.
Ninth in the race right now.
Oh, that's just a little bit reckless there from Tjen. She was in that rally as well, and actually looked pretty dangerous. Hits it long, just takes all the pressure away.
You wonder right now if she's feeling a little bit of pressure to try to keep points a lot shorter with whatever physical issues that she has right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just quick points, quick attempts.
15:30. A little bit of an opening here, and 30 all. Errant backhand on the return. Ooh, and it's a break point now.
Oh.
Big moment now, Jen. A bit of a slice return that just carries way too long.
Sails long. It's a let off. It really is.
I definitely would hope for a little bit more than that on a break opportunity. Getting late in this match, you don't know how many of those you have.
Yeah, I mean, she could get, if Putintseva holds here and Tjen gets broken next game, it's all over. A bit of an angle, goes for the slice again. Oh, just tries to go for a backhand down the line. Winner isn't really set up for it and gives Putintseva an advantage.
She's missed a couple of times from that wing in this game so far. Advantage now for Putintseva. And it's an ace to hold the game.
What an ace. Tjen just absolutely misjudged where that ball was going to go. Covered the out wide. And as Yulia sends it up the tee.
Interesting comment from Ghosty. That could be.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be fair over on that side.
By the way, that stat you can see below is the shocker. 7 out of 10 people who watch our YouTube channel are not subscribed. Please do make sure you subscribe. Really helps us.
Oh, great return here from Putintseva.
Well, Putintseva, this is the time to put the pedal to the metal.
Tjen serving just to stay in this match now. Try to extend it. Oh, good serve down the tee.
That was a very good
Putintseva
serve.
can't really do anything with that one. 15 all now.
Great serve down
Ace.
the tee.
Yeah.
2 easy points.
It just needs a couple more of those now. Try to close out this game quickly. Get to the changeover and make Putintseva think about serving it out. Another great serve down the tee.
Where's this been all match?
Well, maybe some of those painkillers starting to take a bit of an effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, 40-15.
Swing for it. You got nothing to lose. Go for every shot.
Rally here. Putintseva hits it long. Tjen holds.
They are going, and it is going to ask Putintseva, can she serve it out?
There goes to know Eddie has a pretty high opinion of her. Thinks that she could be pretty special on the tour. Already doing a lot of things that no other Indonesian player has done. Trainer out again. I do think this is the final time that the trainer can come out to help her with this issue, which, I mean, there's not going to be another crew changeover in this match anyway, so. Well, there could be, I guess. Never mind. Could be Tjen is able to break serve here, but I'm doing some incorrect math in my head to get to that statement that I made. But see if Putintseva can hold her serve here. One final time to advance to the round of 64. I should look at the draw and try to remember who she faces next. I don't know off the top of my head. Winner of this plays Elena Rybakina. Tough match. Putintseva serving now. Fault on the first serve. Second one goes down the tee. Tjen kind of does a slice return. Just, sets the ball up very nicely for Putintseva to power forehand winner away into the corner. 15 love. There goes to, I think I'd give Rybakina the edge against either of them. I'd give Rybakina the edge against a lot of players right now, though. All right, 30 love. Here's the serve. Into the net.
Yeah.
Putintseva was just having a short conversation with the umpire about something. I'm not really sure what was going on. Okay, that serve. Second serve, down the tee. Return from Tjen is out. 40 love, trio match points.
Ghosty. Dude, I was wrong about the sun. Tjen's return game was just crap. Wow, how many damn errors on this return. That's not the hit.
All right, she saves the first. Putintseva. That's it. Long. 40-15 now.
Oh, just go slightly wide out wide.
And she puts it away. She advances to the next round, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. Putintseva going to face Rybakina next. Really strong match from her. Good to come back from a set down. Played quite well. Reached the second round in Indian Wells. Now has reached the second round in Miami.
She has indeed, and she'll be pretty pleased with that. Putintseva getting through that. Getting through that contest. Could have been a tough one against Janice. Didn't end up being, certainly had to come from a set down. Yeah, just a standard first round match being completed. Truth be told, between two equally ranked individuals.
Yeah, good to see Putintseva playing well. Had a little bit of a lull after a good Australian Open run. But yeah, 2 tournaments in a row now in the Sunshine Double. She's been able to advance. Had quite a difficult match in Indian Wells in her second round against Clara Towson, and now faces Elena Rybakina. So that will be very, very tough for her. John, welcome back to the stream here.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Shall we, have you both got a bit of time just to have a look at a couple of matches coming up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Got some time.
So let's begin with Putintseva against Elena Rybakina. You've just obviously reflected on her 3-set win over Janice Tjen. It was a close match. I thought at times in the first set that I saw that both players struggled a bit with the wind. Putintseva was just a classically frustrated player in that first set. She threw a racket around a bit. Janice did serve quite well, but ultimately Putintseva turned it around. Don't know if that was necessarily down to the injury that Janice had, but Janice actually is in a bit of a rough spot now in terms of her form. But looking forward to Putintseva against Rybakina. Carsten, I'll begin with you. Is there anything Putintseva could possibly do to unnerve and make it difficult for Elena?
I think she's going to have to play her absolute best match of the year up to this point if she's going to have a chance. Where she could potentially cause a little bit of issue is if she is incredibly aggressive with her returns. Sometimes she just gets into the zone where everything she hits is going in, and there's a chance that you can cause someone like Rybakina a little bit of problems if you're able to put big returns near where they are standing when they're coming down from their serve. Of course, you can see the head-to-head just on the screen
2-1.
there.
2-1.
So 2-1. Was it Rybakina winning the last one in Madrid?
Both of Putintsevas wins were a few years ago. In fact, both came before Rybakina even won Wimbledon in 2020 and 2021. And then there was the one in Madrid that went the way of Rybakina. But that was a close one, 7-5. Do you remember any of these matches, or are you aware of this head-to-head, James?
It now rings a bell. It now does actually ring a bell. And I think actually also looking at where those results are taking place, Indian Wells and Rome, where Putintseva won those matches, they are slower courts, like really slower courts. So where Rybakina's serve is kind of neutralized a little bit, and the slicing and the dicing and the almost like the dark arts that Putintseva can bring to matches can then end up actually causing Rybakina some problems. And then it kind of just makes sense. Madrid being the quickest clay court event on the calendar for Rybakina to come through that. So on paper, it does suggest potentially that Putintseva could do something to make this match interesting. She has a lot of a variety to a game that could really frustrate Rybakina, who generally has a bit more of a one-dimensional style game, which is big serve, big forehand. But given the form that Rybakina's in, coming off the back of a final run at Indian Wells, winning the Aussie Open title, you'd expect Rybakina to find a way to at least get through, at least be able to get through through this contest.
Indeed, I expect her to come through. There is a small chink of light for Putintseva in that sometimes Rybakina hovers around the 50% first serve in mark, but it doesn't seem to matter that much because her second serve is that good and she doesn't double fault that often. So I do expect after this it to be 2-2. Do you expect a Rybakina win, Carson?
I think I do. Yeah, I mean, she's served fairly well in Indian Wells. So even though when the first serve in mark does get around like 50%, the second serve is still so good, and the kick that she can get up on it, especially, Putintseva was a little bit on the shorter side, could put that ball really up and away from her, where she's having to reach up around her head to hit the returns back. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. As we saw, she's had a little bit of success against her before, and even in the match that Rybakina did win almost 2 years ago now in Madrid. It's a tight 3-setter, so could be a little bit of a challenge there, but I expect Rybakina to go through.
Yeah, me too. All right, next match I want to have a look at actually is Bianca Andreescu, who won a 3-set match today, which I'm just discovering, by the way. I didn't even know it happened. But she won a 3-set match, and Katie Volinets
Believe me, John, there is so many matches happening today. We don't know who's won what's happening.
Because actually, normally that would get quite a few headlines, just her getting a win at a big tournament, because it's been a while for Bianca, given the time she's had off the tour. But yeah, there's so many matches, and I haven't spent a lot of time on social media, but still, nevertheless, her coming through 7-5. And Susan Layman's, I mean, that is a decent result. It's not like she's just beating, someone who's ranked really far down the rankings. And Susan can bring her aggressive game. And when it all strings together, she can threaten most players on the tour, if not all players on the tour to some extent. So a nice win for Bianca there in 3 sets. Volinets, a very different player to Susan Layman's and also a very different player to Andreescu. She has her limitations, but she fights hard and she certainly squeezes every single hang on a second.
Yeah, this is from qualifying, no?
Oh dearie me, Johnny boy. I'm looking at qualifying.
Yeah, because Volinets lost to Melantova earlier today.
This is not the first time this has happened to me. I'm clicking on round 1, but it's not bringing up round 1, so I have to click on round 2.
Yeah, women's singles qualifying, John. It does clearly state it right there on the.
Yeah, I know, but I keep clicking. Okay, round of 128. This terminology, which I don't particularly like very much.
Oh, okay, John, I think you've made my day there. That.
Well, at least we've got one preview out of the way. I was looking forward to volley nets against Bianca. Oh, by the way, I was going to go for volley nets in straight sets.
I was just looking at it, going, hang on a minute. Has somebody as like a seed pulled out because. Volinets versus Andreescu. Like, there's no way can that be a second round match all on its own.
I mean, I actually stayed. I stayed on the same page, and then as soon as I clicked share the screen, it then flicked over to qualifying. I did have Rybakina against Putintseva up. Anyway, doesn't matter. We've got Rybakina against Putintseva. That is confirmed, and we've already spoken about that. But Volinets versus Andreescu would have been a fun second round match. But as it is, Andreescu is out. I wonder why I hadn't heard anything. Oh, okay. This could be a fun one. Naomi Osaka, Talia Gibson. Because Gibson Very, very comfortable win for her, 1-0 against Bejlek today. I hope Bejlek is okay physically because I know she skipped Indian Wells and she hasn't played since winning a title. That's kind of the two of the form players in so many respects. Gibson having a great start to her year as she crashes into the top 100 and had a really good run to the quarterfinals in Indian Wells. Bejlek obviously had a great start to her year, winning a title, but things came unstuck for her. And I just wonder the manner of that loss. That seems a bit of a big margin to be just a case of someone just coming back on the tour. Fingers crossed she hasn't rushed it back in a Lorenzo Musetti style fashion. Anyway, Gibson's going to be playing against Naomi Osaka in the next round. So that's an exciting one, Carson.
Yeah, that is. I'm trying to find their head to here. Yeah, Osaka, another player who she's been playing fine, but could use a little bit of form. This section of the draw could be a little bit tricky for her. I remember seeing it earlier on and thinking that there could be some challenges here, but I mean, if she wants to get to the level that she wants to be at, like this is the type of match you have to win.
Yeah.
Eventually against a really good informed player in Gibson who had a very nice run in Indian Wells, and I mean it's been a good 6 months for her, frankly. So yeah, she's as hot as anyone on the tour right now that isn't like established top 10 player at this point. So it'll be quite the challenge for sure. Gibson, I don't think she's going to have much fear heading into this match, though.
She won't, especially on the backhand side. That is a beautiful backhand that she has, and it helped dismantle Paolini en route to that quarterfinal that she got in Indian Wells. The head-to-head, by the way, is 1-0 in Naomi Osaka's favor, and that one win came on the grass of Wimbledon last year. It was a straight sets win in the opening round for Naomi. But yeah, I agree with your thought about, it's a tough one, but if Naomi wants to get to the absolute top table in women's tennis once again, it is a match that she probably have to win. What are your thoughts, James?
We've not really seen much of Naomi Osaka really recently. Could this be a tournament that has been placed in the past that she's been able to do well at in terms of getting to the final? I mean, although Talia Gibson had a fantastic run qualifying and getting herself, deep into Indian Wells last week, it is one of those things where she was given a pretty good first round draw here in terms of a player coming off the back of an injury to be able to get through that quite comfortably. I think on a quicker hard court against somebody who is a real specialist on the subject, you'd expect Osaka to come through this in straight sets. Sorry, Talia.
Going to go for Osaka, but might be 3 sets. Do you think Osaka's winning, Carson?
I think I'm going to lean Gibson here. Take the upset pick. I think. Well, we'll see. This is very different conditions from Indian Wells, but she's clearly in form at the moment. And I think she's got some of the elements of power in her game that could give Naomi Osaka a lot of trouble here. So I think it's going to be a very fun match, but I think I'd lean with John as a 3-setter. I don't know if it'll be straight sets.
But are you going to go Naomi or Talia?
I'm going Talia.
Oh, nice. All right. Another women's match, which I think is intriguing. I see. That's what happens. See, when I click on this share button, it always shoots me up. Anyway, let's go back down to get to Leila Fernandez against Selekmatova. I hope I'm saying her name right. Leila's been scratching around for form since winning the Washington title, actually, and it's gone rather flat since then and not had a great number of wins. But anyway, she's going to be playing the Selekmatova, I should say, in the next round. She came through in 3 sets against Arango. Quick thoughts on this one, Carson?
Yeah, I didn't see any of that first round match, so yeah, I'm not sure how exactly that one went down, but Selekmatova had some decent results. I remember in the Australian swing to open up the year. Got a few wins there. So, she's definitely younger, up-and-coming player who should be doing well. As you mentioned, Leila Fernandez kind of been flatlining a little bit for form recently. So, who knows? Could be a tournament where she's able to get on track, hopefully.
Yeah, Select Mateva, I remember that win she had over Paula Badosa in the second round in Australia. Badosa's also someone who's been scratching for wins, although she did get one in her first round match in Miami. I am going to just lean Layla, but honestly, it's a toss of a coin. What do you reckon, James?
I don't really know, really. I think as you're saying,
okay.
I love the fact you come to me saying, "What do you think?" And I go, "I don't really know." But no,
Totally
in terms
fine.
of yeah, I think I agree with you in terms of, you got one person who's not in form, and another who has got a bit of a taste of causing the upset, and a young rising talent. I mean, yeah, let's go for this. Let's go for this youngster. I think she could potentially see off Layla in 3 sets.
All right. Next match on the women's side, Anisimova against Tomljanovic. Where are we at the moment with Anisimova, Carson? I sort of see her have a flurry of wins in Australia and seem to be playing very well, but then runs into Pegula. And then she plays well in the Middle East to some extent, runs into Pegula, and is actually in a position to beat Pegula. I think she was 4-3 up in the second set with a break, but ultimately Pegula broke back, and then it just became a mental struggle for her. She got beaten quite comfortably by Mboko and Indian Wells. So it seems like the tennis isn't far away for Anisimova, but at the moment, it's just eluding her in some of the matches when it really counts.
I mean, it's been a good year for her. Hasn't been bad at all, but I do think that we're all kind of waiting for her to make that really big run deep into a tournament, where, I mean, we assume and know that she can get to at this point. So, yeah, I wouldn't at all be shocked if Miami's a place where she's able to put it together. Going up against Tomljanovic, who, when she's on, is a very, very good player, and presents a struggle for a lot of people on the tennis court, but yeah, maybe a little bit inconsistent relative to what Anisimova has been able to do. So I'm going to lean Anisimova, but I think it could be a challenging 2-set match for her.
I lean similarly, but interestingly, the head-to-head is 2-0 in favor of Tomljanovic. I do wonder when these 2 wins came. I'm just going to guess that they were a couple of years or more ago. They're not including the Sacramento win in 2017, which, actually, maybe that might have been a no result scenario, this one in 2017, just because they've got Anisimova winning it, but maybe they didn't even take the call. But anyway, let's look at the two other results they've got that have both gone the way of Tomljanovic. Yeah, indeed. 2017 and 2021 in San Jose, but they did both go the way of Tomljanovic. But since then, Tomljanovic has had some horrendous injuries that have caused her to be off the tour for several months and even on occasion pretty much whole seasons. But when she's on, she's very much on, and that's an exciting prospect. But I think, like you, I am just going to lean Anisimova probably in a couple of close sets. What are your thoughts on this matchup, James?
Yeah, I mean, I expect Anisimova to come through this relatively, certainly straight sets, potentially them being quite, normal type sets, like a 6-4, 6-3 type scenario. I think Anisimova still relatively running off a good amount of confidence, had an okay run. Indian Wells, okay, not exactly the finish you would have wanted, but certainly not a disaster, with a couple of good things in the Middle East, or at least one of a good tournament in the Middle East. And yeah, Tomljanovic is just, she can play well, but her body never really holds up most of the time, and still recovering from coming back from injury. But yeah, I would say certainly go for Tomljanovic. Sorry, go for Anisimova on that one.
Zeynep Sonmez came through against Beatrice Haddad-Maia, 3-2. Haddad-Maia as well as another one who's really struggling for form at the moment. But Zeynep Sonmez, in winning that one in straight sets, has set up a second-round clash with Belinda Bencic. Zeynep is someone I think is extremely consistent, can hit the ball clean and can hit the ball hard. I think if you're not quite on your game, she beats you. But she's also someone very beatable. She's just extremely solid and extremely consistent. Bencic's peak, well, we know in terms of being a top 10 player in the past, Olympic gold medalist. Pretty sure Bencic has been in the top 10 in the past. I think she might even been close to top 5. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this upcoming match, Carson?
I think, yeah, as you said, Zeynep Sonmez pretty exciting player to watch. So very consistent. Yeah, Belinda Bencic looking for a little bit of form. Has been some little bit of injury struggles so far this season. So not necessarily like tennis form, but just match form as much as anything. Yeah, I agree with Ghosty's comment here. Sunmes absolutely can beat Bencic. I'm not sure I'm going to lean towards the upset here. I think Bencic will come through, but it would not surprise me at all if Zeynep Sunmes is able to win this match.
Yeah, actually, Bencic's career high, number 4 in the world. So yeah, very much a top 5 player in the past. She's got everything for me, except maybe just a little lacking in movement. That might have just deteriorated a little bit in terms of her age, but that is the only real big hole, in my opinion, in her game. But she's got all the weapons with which to do some damage, and even to Zeynep Sonmez. I'm probably going to go with Bencic in 3 sets. What are your thoughts on this matchup, James?
Yeah, I think the good point you raised is the fact that ever since that beginning of Australia sort of swing, it hasn't really been clicking for Belinda, and it has been notable some of the good runs that Zeynep's had. Getting to the quarters in Meridia, a couple of weeks back, been getting some good wins, getting some high ranking wins. I could see this match being tight. I think 3 sets could be certainly the case. But yeah, I would favour the Swiss at this stage, just having that quality, just having enough in the end to see out this contest.
Yeah, much tighter than their 6-2, 6-love match, 6-love, 6-2 match, sorry, that they had in Madrid last year. At least that. Coco Gauff is going to be playing against Elisabetta Cocciaretto. The only reason I really find this one interesting is that they played each other a few weeks ago in the Middle East, and Cocciaretto won it. I do think that Gauff was in a bit of a sticky spell, let's say, in terms of her form. She probably didn't go quite as far as she would have liked in Australia. I think she then turned a corner with her win over Elise Mertens, and fingers crossed her health is okay. I've heard Coco talk about the fact, obviously it's her left arm, but she said it is getting better, and she's ready to play. Let's say that. That's how it would appear, and she's going to be playing, her recent conqueror Cocciaretto. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Carson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully she's healthy. A healthy Coco Gauff should win this match fairly easily, I think. So, provided that there's not a lingering injury concern, I think she'll come through. But Cocciaretto can be a difficult opponent to play at times, and just seems to show up and win a match or two at some tournaments that you just wouldn't really expect her to. She's a very difficult player to knock out of a draw. So, yeah, I think Gauff should be fine in this match, but yeah, obviously with the left arm, what that can affect most as a right-handed player is the toss on your serve, which already is not the strength of Coco Gauff's game. So we'll see if that has any lingering effect, but I feel fairly confident that she should be able to come through this one.
The win that Cocciaretto had in the Middle East is her only one in their head-to-head. The other 3 have all gone the way of Coco. Those previous ones, one was on clay and 2 were on hard courts over the last couple of years. And in fact, in the Coco Gauff wins, they were all straight sets. I'm going to go for a straight sets win for Coco as well, just assuming that left arm is close to being fully healed, but it is something to keep an eye on. James?
Yeah, health is the key, is the key sort of like factor in this contest. If Coco's ill, if Coco's well, then she should win. But then, as you say, Elisabetta Cocciaretto has, she won the title in Hobart earlier this season, shown a good level against a few top players. You say beating Coco in the Middle East swing only last month. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that even with maybe a healed Coco, if she comes in and has an off day, Elisabetta may be able to take advantage. I mean, I would probably still favour Coco, but I could see a potential for Elisabetta maybe to do it in 3 sets if things aren't firing on all cylinders.
Indeed. Okay, Victoria Mboko is going to be coming up against Anna Blinkova. That's an interesting one. I think Blinkova is a bit of a lights-out player in so many respects, and again, if everything goes together for her, especially the return, you can be in trouble, even Victoria Mboko. Although I have to say, Mboko's form seems to be just getting better and better, and I would even go back as far as that win that she had in her homeland last year. Just a little wobble at the US Open with an early exit there to Barbora Krejcikova, but every time I see her take the court, she impresses me. It's difficult to find any weaknesses in her game. And Blinkova coming through today in 3 sets over Sofia Kenin. That's an interesting win that Blinkova had there over Kenin. But I'm not just leaning Mboko. I'm pretty optimistic for her chances here. Maybe even a run all the way to the final. So I do expect her to beat Blinkova. Carson?
Yeah, Mboko's been absolutely fire all year. So it will be... Blinkova is going to have to play very, very well in order to win this match, perhaps reminiscent of a match she had against Rybakina in the Australian Open in 2024. Could take that type of performance to come through here. When everything is on for her, she has the level to challenge and beat the top players in the sport, but the consistency typically has not been there. So feel like Mboko is going to come through. I feel like it's going to be fairly easy for her. But the win against Sofia Kenin today, who is in a bit of a struggle for form of her own, is fairly impressive for Blinkova.
James?
I mean, yeah, Mboko winning in straights. I can't really see anything else. Sorry to say.
Okay, James, I'm going to come to you first on this next one. Katie Bolter against Clara Towson. Bolter won in straight sets over Bouzas Monero. The first set tiebreak, 11-9, suggested a bit of an epic there before Katie won the second set, 6-4. Katie's form has been creeping back up a bit this year, right?
I mean, it was a real sort of crossroads moment at the beginning of the season. Only just about managed to get into the Australian Open, literally by one person pulling out. Wasn't really getting much wins and whatnot, and then that run in Ostrava, right at the beginning of the February little mini swing, winning that tournament, given us so much confidence, and she's able to ride that through quite well, get into the quarters in Meridia as well, picking up a good ton of points there, and then getting a really good win against Jessica Bouzas Monero, a player that is no joke, is knocking on the doors of potentially getting into the top 40, maybe even getting herself seeded in slams. And then coming up here against, and as you say, Katie went down to around about 120 in the world, at least on the live rankings. Now got herself back up into the 60s. Actually, looks like it's more looking upwards than downwards, which has been really pleasing to see because certainly a player of Katie, Katie's age of being pretty much into the 30s, starting into her 30s now. It could have been seen as a potential route going downwards and being stuck in the challenger level tournaments. So for her to be able to rebound as strong as she has been, it's been fantastic. Yeah, we can see that Towson has won their previous contest, but Towson is in really weird form as it is at this stage, going out pretty early to players you wouldn't expect, not having very little confidence on her side. And the one problem I saw with Katie's match yesterday was that because it was windy, it kind of negated some of Katie's ability to be able to really hit through the ball where she wanted it to be and for it to be safe. If the wind is down and the sun's out, it's a little bit more lively. I could see a world where Katie can bring a strong level and potentially even beat Towson with the dips that we could probably expect to see that will pop on Towson's game.
All right, what do you think, Carson?
I think Towson, she's had some decent results. Australian swing was a little bit rough for her, but overall decent Middle East run. And then, Indian Wells, where it's a good tournament for her. So hasn't, outside of semifinals in, was it Dubai or Abu Dhabi? Can't remember which one. It's been a decent year for her, but feels like another player that we're waiting to make a deep run at a tournament. I think that it's really going to come down to your consistency on any given day. It's with a lot of power, and that can come and go at times for her. So I'm leaning towards Towson to pull this one out, but I think it'll be a fun match to watch.
Yep, me too. Just leaning slightly towards Towson. But if Bolter has a great serving day, and she can, and the wind annoys Clara a little bit, and that can also be a case, then it might lean the other way. But yeah, I will just lean a win for Towson. All right, let's go over to the men. Let's start with Jack Draper coming up against Riley Opelka. Opelka winning in 3 sets over Nuno Borges. I think that's a really good win for Riley because Nuno on a hard courts is normally a pretty difficult obstacle, especially in the early stages of big tournaments. But Riley Opelka coming through, he did lose the first set on a tie break, but then ultimately he broke Nuno Borges' serve at least twice in the second set. So that'll disappoint the Portuguese, and then ultimately prevailing in a third set tie break. Going to be coming up against Jack Draper. Jack Draper, is he okay fitness wise and stuff following Indian Wells? He looked a bit off color against Medvedev, but that's nothing to take nothing away from Daniil. But I think he's okay health wise, isn't he, James?
Yeah, all the reports he said in the media is that he feels good and whatnot. I think the Medvedev match, you can kind of, you look at the context of the fact that it was his first time that Jack did back to back in terms of days of matches, and Daniel's such a tricky opponent that and such an exhausting opponent to play against that it was always going to be an uphill battle. And also I think with the and also in that match it had the weird hindrance drama which essentially really swung that second set, and you never know if Jack was able to have maybe held and got to a tiebreaker. He could have potentially have won it, and then God knows what would have happened from that point onwards. But this is going to be the interesting one in terms of Jack's been quite fortunate, certainly with the players that he's played against in Indian Wells, that they allowed him to at least have some rhythm in their matches, and Jack was able to really get on top of them. Riley's not a player that's going to give you rhythm. It's going to be big serve, and he'll come to the net and try and take out a third ball if you are able to get one back. And that's going to be the big test for Jack, is how well he's going to be able to deal with that stressful situation of, he may have a break point, he may have two on Riley's serve. He knows that if he doesn't get any of these back, or he doesn't take those chances, then Riley's going to serve him off the court. There probably will be a lot of tiebreakers in this one because the court's a little faster here. I mean, I hope that Jack would get through. I mean, last season Jack was one of the best returners on the tour, and his return stats have started to creep up quite well in Indian Wells. And if you can bring that here, then there's every chance that he can get enough opportunities on the Riley serve to at least be able to see it out in maybe straights, maybe two tiebreakers. And I hope that Jack will come through it.
Yeah, I think Jack's level. I actually did lean Jack in his match with Medvedev, but I was just not sure which way to go with that one. It was just a case of whether Jack's level against Daniil's, freshness would win out. And I think maybe freshness did play its part, but also Medvedev, to be fair, played some of his best tennis in a long time across that match, but it's in particular in his match against Carlos Alcaraz. Nevertheless, I think Opelka may have had his day in the Miami sun, and I'm going to go with a Jack Draper winning straights. What about you? Especially as Jack will be able to return that serve, and he'll serve well enough, I think, to be untroubled by the Riley return. What are your thoughts, Carson?
Yeah, I think certainly Riley has played a good match here in this tournament to get through. Win against Nuno Borges is nothing to sneeze at all. So certainly he'll provide a little bit of a challenge for Draper. I think, some of we talked about his fitness in Indian Wells, some of that just coming from playing back-to-back days. And then, the first of those two matches, a very physical long match against Novak. And then, no one wants to play Medvedev in that situation where you're already a little bit worn down. I think the matchup does favor Draper in most aspects outside of Riley's serve, which we all know is massive. I think the only thing to note is that Draper historically has struggled a little bit in the switch from Indian Wells to Miami. Think about a second round exit to Jakub Menchik, who ended up winning the tournament last year, and then
tough draw,
a little bit of a tough draw, but Menchik was outside of the top 50 at that point when that happened. So was it 2 years ago? I think second round to Nico Jerry, if I remember correctly.
True.
He hasn't made a deep run here. he hasn't made a deep run in Miami yet, and it seems like this changeover from the conditions in Indian Wells are providing something of a puzzle for him to try to solve. So I think Draper should win and should go through, but that's the only like little note that I would put on it for him.
Yep. All right. Just a couple more matches I want to get through. The next one on my hit list is Matteo Berrettini against Alexander Bublik. Berrettini coming through against, who did Berrettini beat? Berrettini beat Muller. Yeah, pretty good straight sets win for the Italian. Yeah, 4-2. Muller maybe just a little bit more tricky an opponent on the clay, particularly in South America, but Berrettini there winning that one 4-2 to set up this Bublik clash. Berrettini has flattered to deceive in the last 6 to 12 months. Still feels like he's a long way off being the player from 3 or 4 years ago. What do you think, James?
Yeah, it's I watched some of his matches in the South American swing for Berrettini. You know, a surface that you'd expect Matteo to do well on, and he really did struggle to even win any matches there, which was a bit of an alarming sight to see. But he did well to win his opening round match against Muller. But then, you know, Bublik has just started to look a little bit suspect, really, in terms of that consistency that he was bringing. That made us really give huge plaudits to the man at the back end of last year and the slight beginning of this year. Just seems to have fallen away. I mean, you know, the Bublik of 6 months ago would not have lost that match to Rinky Hijikata, but he did end up doing so in Indian Wells. And I could see a world where if Matteo was able to have a strong service game or service day, maybe get it to a couple of tiebreakers, put a bit of pressure on Bublik, that this could potentially go the way of the Italian. You know, go the way of the Italian.
What do you think, Carlson? They have played once before. That did go the way of Bublik, but it was 4 years ago in Antalya. Wow. It was a straight sets win for Alexander. Probably at that time, I would have classed that as a slight surprise, bearing in mind where Berrettini and Bublik were at. But anyway, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
I'm surprised they've not ever actually met on the main.
I know. I mean, the injuries obviously have had an effect there, but yeah, that is a surprise. They haven't played more often. Carson, what are your thoughts on this? Well, I'm going to go for a Bublik win, but again, it's a bit of a toss of a coin.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a toss-up. Bublik hasn't won back-to-back matches at this last 3 tournaments now, I think. So good start to the year. Title in Hong Kong, 4th round at the Australian Open, semifinals at Rotterdam. So really strong start to the year, but seems like the last month it's just kind of like fizzled out a little bit. So I think this is the type of match early on in the tournament where it can either jumpstart a nice run for you, or, I mean, Berrettini certainly has the talent and ability to just beat him in this match. So I'm going to lean Bublik. I just don't know that I've seen enough from Berrettini recently to put my full trust that he's going to come through, but should be a pretty good match for round of 64.
Agree. There are just 2 more matches I want to cover, and you can probably guess one of them. The other one is Stefanos Tsitsipas is going to be playing Alex de Minaur for, I think, the 13th time. And 11 of their 12 previous encounters have gone the way of Stefanos Tsitsipas, which may surprise some, particularly given where both players are at right now in terms of their careers. Tsitsipas, by the way, came through in straight sets against Artur Ferri today, 6-1, 7-1. That would be a funny score for a set. 6-1, 7-6 to set up a clash with de Minaur. What are your thoughts, James, on Tsitsipas against de Minaur, and maybe even a reflection on... Oh, by the way, the Miami website, and a lot of websites in tennis do this. Instead of calling him de Minaur, he's just called Minor. Which is unfortunate, because I think you've got to include the D. Or you can either do Alex de Minaur, you can do de Minaur as well. Even Demon would be okay, but Minor, no, thank you. But anyway, it is what it is. Tsitsipas, de Minaur. James, go for it.
I would say you've got to go. you got to go Alex de Minaur for feeling in this one. Like slightly quicker court. We'll give him a little bit more pump through his serve. We'll quite like the ability that he can maybe try and outrally Tsitsipas. And Tsitsipas still looking a little bit shaky. I mean, yes, he came through Arthur Ferry, but there was a point where Arthur Ferry should have taken that or should have won that second set, and it could have made it slightly interesting. I mean, like you say, it is a very lopsided head-to-head record, 11-1. But I just feel as though the Aussie will have enough here to be able to get through. And as you can see, Alex did win one of their more recent
exactly.
One of the recent matches.
If I think about Stefanos Tsitsipas's career, and in particular when there was a significant moment of decline, it would be around about 2023 at some point. You could also draw, there's a couple of lines in the sand with Stefanos that I draw. 2 sets to love up on Novak Djokovic, playing the best tennis of his career before losing that French Open final. That was a line in the sand for me. Of course, he was to get to another Slam final in 2023, but he got Lahetska in the quarters that year, I think, in Australia. Khachanov, who he's got a really favourable head-to-head against in the semis, and then he found out his level against Djokovic in that final. So I do look at sort of a couple of moments, 2021 and 2023, of moments where Stefanos either peaked or a severe decline or a significant decline began. And if you then look at their head-to-head, then it's 1-1. And also the one win that Stefanos had was on the clay. And I would probably still make Stefanos the favourite on clay, especially if it was we were just going into the match blind. So I am also going to go for a de Minaur win, but maybe it'll be a tough 3-setter. What are your thoughts, Carson?
Yeah, I'm going to lean de Minaur as well. Certainly the better player of the two right now. So, yeah, the things that Stefanos does really well are a little bit mitigated by Miami, I think, and help favor de Minaur a little bit. We mentioned like the quicker courts will help Alex with the serve a little bit, serve speed, baseline game a little bit as well. Also just a really good court for him to like run around on and use his athleticism and speed. Tsitsipas also just a little bit inconsistent right now. Feels like there's not a clear direction that his game is going at the moment, so I'm going to go to de Minaur, and I think it'll be a comfortable 2 sets.
All right, fair enough. One match to go, and it has to be Carlos Alcaraz against João Fonseca. It's their first meeting. They had an exhibition, I think, didn't they? Did they play that exhibition in Miami 6 months ago or 4 months ago, whatever it was? So I wasn't sure because I think one or both of them had 1 or 2 injury issues, but that did go ahead. I have no idea how that exhibition went, and I almost don't care.
Wasn't it that really weird stadium where they ended up taking like part of a baseball stadium, and it was like this really weird angles?
Maybe in December, I think. Yeah,
in Miami.
In Miami, yeah, but it wasn't in this stadium where they're playing. Right, yeah, exactly. Was it an indoor arena?
No, like it was a baseball stadium.
Okay, so outdoors then.
Yeah, it was outdoors in December.
Yeah, nice that they can have weather to play outdoors in December. I wasn't quite sure if Miami had a winter of some sort, but probably not. All right.
Not really.
Well, irrespective, thanks, Carson. Irrespective of that exhibition, Fonseca had a bit of a wobble today. Was in a very comfortable looking position, serving very well against Fabian Marozsan, and was very comfortable in that he got to 6-4 first set. Had a little moment when he had to serve it out, a break pointer to save, but served really well in that first set. And also had love 40 at the beginning of the second on Marozsan's serve, but didn't get the break. Thanks mainly to Fabian's good serving and some good +1s as well. But given that then he suddenly found himself 4-1 down in the second from that love 40 scenario, and yeah, probably in a bit more of a dogfight than he wanted to be. His level today wasn't as good as the level he showed probably throughout his Indian Wells run, where I think he played better and better and better. I thought he was excellent against Tommy Paul. I thought he was excellent against Jannik Sinner, albeit a match that, of course, he lost in straight sets, and showed that he's pretty much back and ready to attack the rest of the year. Alcaraz, of course, lost his unbeaten record in Indian Wells, but this is a matchup I think we've been waiting, 14, 15, 16 months for, just considering how they hit the ball. James, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, you mentioned about those matches at Indian Wells. Certainly that Sinner match where when it came to those ratings where it was got a 9.2 or something like that, and he still managed to lose the match, just being utterly ridiculous. Because of that, and I know the match against Rafael against Marijan wasn't as good today as it was against with the levels against Tommy Paul or Karen Kachanov or anything like that. It's still a bit of a come down. You now have to start back again at the beginning of a tournament. You've just come off a high of such a brilliant run at Indian Wells. It's going to take, you're not going to be playing your sparkling best in that matchup. But I fully expect João Fonseca to bring his A-plus game to this match. And we've got an Alcaraz who's come off the back of losing quite a long outdoor hard court winning record, who potentially did look a little bit more vulnerable. And I'm gonna go for the out there prediction, and I'm gonna say I think João Fonseca is gonna win this match. I potentially think he could win it it'll be one in 3 sets, and could potentially be one of the matches of the year. We could end up looking back up. Yao likes the big stage, and there's no bigger stage than in Miami, where there's going to be a lot of good support for both players. Going to try and take out King Carlos.
Well, we'll see. What was I going to say in response to one or two things that you were saying there? I mean, we often build these matches and then get let down. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If we get a match like we had with Zhao and Yannick, for example, even if it's straight sets, then I think it'll be a huge step forward for Zhao. It is a big call to suggest that he will win. However, Carlos and early losses in Miami, the last 2 years at least, early by his standards anyway, has been a thing. Obviously, last year, David Goffin, and the year before that, Grigor Dimitrov. Hasn't been in the final since he won the tournament in 2022. I think he won the tournament in 2022, unless I'm getting myself confused.
No, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah, he did win it that year. Never done the Sunshine Double, of course, and that won't be happening for him this year. Yannick Sinner is the only person who can do that. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Carson?
Yeah, as you said, we've been waiting a very long time for this one. So whatever the result is, I think it's going to be interesting to see, especially for Fonseca now coming up against Carlos after he played so well against Sinner, but wasn't able to close out that match. I think it'll be really interesting to see where his level is at against the other member of the two best players right now. I think that another factor that could play into this is the crowd. They're going to be it's a very pro-Brazilian crowd in Miami. So it might be one of the very few places on the tour where there's more fans cheering for the opponent than they are for Carlos. So, but Carlos steps up to the stage in those big moments as well. I also just wonder about Carlos coming out of Indian Wells, losing the semifinal match to Medvedev. How quickly does he recover mentally from that match? Sometimes in the past it can take him a little bit of time to come back from a bigger loss. So I have less concerns about that now than maybe a couple of years ago. I think that he's starting to show a lot more mental resilience in these moments. I think it'll be an exciting match no matter what happens, but I'm going to pick Carlos to come through here.
I'm going to go with Carlos, as well. Maybe 2 super tight sets. I think it will be interesting with the crowd. Today, Fabian Marijan did get a little put off at times. I mean, just probably 2 points, but it was enough to make it a more comfortable third set for Zhao than perhaps it needed to be. There was just a couple of times there was a few celebratory cheers when first serves were going to the net. The poor umpire kept saying, please, guys. And it didn't really make any difference because they'd be cheering again a few moments later. Very different as well to the Alex Ayala fandom, which is more sort of in hope and Alex has won a point. Alex has won a game. Alex might win a match. Alex has won a match. That's kind of where their fandom is at. Whereas the João Fonseca is a little bit like, come on, we're Brazilian. We're going to have a party, but you better win. And we'll do everything we can to help you get over the line. But I am just leaning Carlos. I do think that Zhao's level today, yes, the transition and the change and all the rest of it took him a little bit, maybe more to get going. But Carlos, let's not forget, was looking almost imperious. In fact, was imperious on this surface until losing to Daniel Medvedev. So I'm going to stick with Carlos, and I think we're going to get a Sinkaraz final, but that's obviously a little bit down the road. Listen, James and Carson, big thanks for joining me today.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great.
Great. And a big thanks, obviously, for seeing us through on the watch along for Tjen and Putintseva. And to everybody else, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.